Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks for Saturday, November 23rd, 2019. We're back. This is a real broadcast, not one of these pat on the back broadcasts. We're done with that. Time to get back to work. We're going to be talking about some new segments we're going to be adding to the weekly show. But before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out. Now that we're over 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be able to do some things for you and with you that we couldn't before. So we just want to keep that momentum going forward. A couple of housekeeping notes. And of course, housekeeping notes are always first because we want to keep things nice and clean. First of all, I have not heard from the winner of our Matt Bridger t-shirt contest. And that gentleman was named Kevin McDonald. So Kevin, you need to contact me in the email address that's going to be listed below this broadcast, jrswift@vegastipstricks.com. Let me know where I need to ship that t-shirt. If I don't hear back from Kevin this week, guess what? We'll spin the wheel again next week, and those folks who didn't win will have a chance to win. So maybe some of you are rooting against Kevin, but we hope we hear from him soon. Also, we are, I think, just a couple of people away from hitting 2,000 people on the Facebook group, so thanks a lot for joining us on that group. I've had some people that have basically expressed their sympathy, and I kind of understand that having a growing Facebook group is a lot of sort of administrative tasks, and it's a bit like herding cats sometimes. But we appreciate everybody that has wanted to join us. I mean, we ask you to answer some questions, you got to go through a process, and then you got to wait. It's a lot easier to subscribe to a YouTube channel than join a Facebook group. So thanks to all of you who've joined up there. We're going to continue to try to make the content better and more valuable. Again, it's always a bit of a struggle. A lot of us are just on there sharing our videos, which hopefully are helpful to you, but certainly want to encourage people to participate and ask their own questions and move forward with that. And I really do appreciate Andy when he's not on vacation and Kevin for helping me kind of herd those cats over there. So new segments on the show. We're going to normally do, about at this point in the broadcast, a short segment on Vegas news. And we'll probably insert some kind of cute video. Insert cute video. Not today. And then we'll go into the Vegas news story. We'll probably just talk about one thing for a couple of minutes that I thought was interesting, particularly interesting to Vegas visitors as far as its impact. And again, some weeks there might not be much to talk about. Some weeks we might stretch it out. It might end up being a large part of the show. Here we'll pretend to do a Vegas news segment today. The big news in Vegas this week was the weather. It was rainy and overcast and unseasonably cool, I guess. I don't know. It was humid, at least. So for those of you who spent this past week in Vegas, you got a taste of what happens when it rains really hard, which basically is a lot of things flood. Most notably the Link parking garage. There's a long story there, but we're not going to talk about that today. But it'll be something like that, where we talk about a news story, hopefully one more interesting than that, and kind of give you my take on it and what it might mean for you. The second segment we're going to have, which is very exciting for you, the viewers, is a viewer Vegas tip or trick. That's right. I'm going to ask you for your best Vegas tip or trick, and if I use it on the program, not only will I credit you, but you'll be entered for a chance to win a fabulous prize. Well, fabulous, like, something Vegas related that hopefully you'll enjoy. And of course, you'll get shouted out on the fabulous channel, and appreciate that. And of course, your tip will become the intellectual property of Vegas Tips and Tricks, Inc. Not really. Thankfully, I don't think Vegas tips are copyrighted, because I don't think any of us have a particularly original idea that nobody's thought of before. So you can share those in the comment. You can email them to me. I read all the comments. I try to respond to everything, and I'll read any emails. So if you have a tip or trick that you would like to have featured on the show, send it to me. If I think it's a good one, I'll use it, and then again, you will be entered for a chance to win a prize sometime probably after the first of the year. So hopefully that'll be something that people will respond to. I look forward to hearing what you think, because I think there's a lot of great information out there amongst the viewers. And another thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it today, I'm going to kind of kick it off, is we're going to do a weekly hotel profile. And as much as it gets sort of dull for me to talk about the same things over and over again, inevitably the questions that come up when people talk about Vegas are talking about hotels. I tried to address that some on the website. We have a number of hotel profiles there. You can reach that in the links below as well. But I thought it would be fun to do sort of a video segment where we talk about individual properties. And again, hey, maybe in the future, a picture of an individual property will pop up here. And it'll say, hotel profile, if I get my editing skills together. Today, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about Mandalay Bay. When you talk about Mandalay Bay, a lot of people think of the tragic events a couple of years ago. But we're going to, for the moment, not think about that. And we're going to judge this property simply based on its qualities. And I'm not going to sit here and give you a rating. I'm not going to tell you to stay here or not to stay here. I'm going to try to give you a feel for the property. We're starting on Mandalay Bay because it's on the far south end of the Strip, which is one of the good and the bad things about the property. I really like spending time at Mandalay Bay. And one of the reasons is that it is a little more isolated. In addition, the casino feels very spread out and open. It is the anti-Fremont. If you've ever been to the Fremont Casino downtown, it's a bit like, gambling in a broom closet. You're like elbow to elbow with everybody. It is so crowded. Mandalay Bay is just the opposite. There's plenty of room to stretch out. When you're playing the machines, you don't feel like there are people hovering around you at all times. And it's not smoky. It's, like I said, it's just a really relaxing place to play. Because it's at the far south end of the Strip, it doesn't get a lot of that sort of walk-through traffic, that you get if you're at the Bellagio or Caesars or Flamingo or Paris or something like that. There's a lot of people just walking through and gawking, and maybe they stop and gamble a little bit. At Mandalay Bay, most of the people that are hanging out there are probably staying there. And so you don't get quite as many of the gawkers. There's not like a big attraction there. I mean, they have the Shark Reef is a really nice attraction. I think particularly it's a great family attraction because anybody can enjoy walking through and checking out the fabulous marine life on display. But, it's just a little more peaceful most of the time. Mandalay Bay does have a very large convention center on site, and so if you visit at the right time, you may see a lot of badges and suits and nice dresses. And those folks can kind of get in your way once in a while, particularly around mealtime. So, if there is a convention taking place there, it's going to be a little more crowded. And you'll probably also want to try to adjust the times you do certain things in order to not be inconvenienced by all these folks who are up there pretending to work. Oh well, pretending to work is what Vegas is all about. Another place you may find a bit overcrowded at Mandalay Bay is the spectacular swimming pool. A consensus choice as the best pool in Las Vegas, and I would agree. However, it gets very crowded. It's very noisy. So if your idea of pool life is just kind of hanging out in a lounger, relaxing, dipping your feet in the water from time to time, maybe Mandalay Bay is a little too intense for you. But I'd say even if you are, whatever kind of pool person you are, it's definitely worth checking out. There's a sandy beach, there's waves, it's just, it's crazy. And it's a massive complex. They have concerts there. So definitely a one-of-a-kind place. And maybe all the people at Mandalay Bay are at the beach instead of in the casino, which works out just fine for me. When you think about Mandalay Bay, there's actually 3 hotel properties on site, each of which has a lot to recommend it. Outside of the original Mandalay Bay, you also have the Delano or the Delano. I've stayed there, I still don't know how to pronounce it, and the Four Seasons. So let's talk about all 3 of those hotels briefly. The main tower, the Mandalay Bay Tower, nice sort of somewhat above average rooms, good size rooms. Most I think have a separate tub and shower combo, which you don't have the, it's showering in a tub. A lot of places have simply done away with the soaking tub. So if that's a feature you like, you can get it at Mandalay Bay at a pretty reasonable price. They remodeled a few years ago. It hasn't been too long. And again, the rooms are nice, reasonably well maintained. It's just, it's like I said, it's an above average property if you don't mind the location. The Delano/Delano is a separate hotel tower which you can easily see as you're driving by or walking by Mandalay Bay. It's somewhat set back from the street a bit. I have stayed at the Delano a few years ago. It opened probably 15 years ago as the hotel. and underwent a name change, renovation, reboot, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, to become the Delano. All the rooms are sort of mini suites. They're very nice, very comfortable, sometimes not that much more expensive than Mandalay Bay. This might be one of those places where a $20 trick at a slow time might move you to that tower. I will warn you, the rooms are very white. If you don't like white, the Delano may not be for you, but again, really nice rooms. Delano has its own separate swimming pool. If you want a little bit of a oasis away from the madness, it has its own separate bars and restaurants, at least a couple. But at the same time, if you're staying at the Delano, you can use all the facilities at Mandalay Bay. And the same thing is true if you stay at the Four Seasons. You may go, well, where's the Four Seasons? I don't see a Four Seasons. Well, it's at the very top of the Mandalay Bay Tower. I think the top 5 or 6 floors. But it does have a separate interest, a separate porte-cochere. And if you know anything about the traveling or business hotels, or any hotels, Four Seasons is a name that really is, almost without par in the business. Sometimes people ask me what the best hotel is on the Vegas Strip, and I will not entirely jokingly say the Four Seasons, because people don't expect it. There's no casino attached to it. Prices are high, but much more in line with what you'd expect to pay at a nice hotel in another large city. But you get a level of personalized service you do not get anywhere else on the Vegas Strip. So definitely worth looking into. They also have a small, very relaxing pool. So if you've ever stayed at a Four Seasons before, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, it's not a bad idea to treat yourself once and check it out. Again, if you're at the Four Seasons, you can use all the facilities at Mandalay Bay as well. Of course, the issue with Mandalay Bay, and one of the reasons why it's a little quieter, is it is a little more isolated. You're at the very far south end of the Strip. It's about a 5-minute walk over to Luxor through the Mandalay Place shops, which also have some bars and restaurants that are interesting, a little Irish pub, which is kind of cool. And then, you can hike through Luxor and over to Excalibur probably in 15 minutes. Then you're pretty close to the sort of south center part of the Strip. There's also a tram that is free that you can catch if you time it right. That doesn't take very long to actually get there, but sometimes you wait 10 or 15 minutes, it seems, to get on. So it is a little more isolated. I find that the most bothersome if you're just, it's late at night and you're looking for something to eat and you don't want it on site and you start wandering, and pretty soon you've wandered like a mile away to find a snack. So this kind of depends on your taste. Again, there's nice qualities about being a little isolated, but you are down there a ways. If you don't mind a little bit of a walk or taking the tram, you can be pretty much in the center of the action pretty quickly as well. On site, there is a food court down by the convention center entrance area that has a few inexpensive places. Otherwise, most of the hotels here are moderate to moderately expensive to expensive. There is a buffet which has a very nice setting, one of the nicest settings of any buffet in Las Vegas, but the food is, average at best and overpriced. If you can get it for free, it's a great deal. There is a 24-hour place, I think it's called Citizen's Kitchen, one of those places where they make mac and cheese, but they kick it up a notch. I don't know. I like my comfort food unkicked up, but it's also a decent place to eat at a reasonable price. There's can't think of the burger bar. That's what it's called. If you want a gourmet burger, which you can spend hundreds of dollars on if you pick the right one. So there's plenty of places to eat. A lot of things to do. On site you have a Cirque show, the MJ1 show, which features the music of Michael Jackson, and that usually does a very brisk business. It's got a great sports book. The casino, again, it's got all the games you want, but of course it's got strip rules and strip payback percentages, so don't expect to win big. So that's our hotel profile today. We talked about Mandalay Bay and what I think about it and what the feel of the place is. It's a relaxing place to stay. Particularly if you stay in one of the sort of boutique hotels attached to that location. And I enjoy it. Have you stayed at Mandalay Bay, Delano, or Four Seasons? If you have, please make a note in the comments below. I'd like to know what you thought of it. We're going to wrap up today's broadcast. Next week we'll be back with more Vegas tips, more Vegas news, and another hotel profile, along with plenty of great information. to share with you. Until then, I hope that you have a great and lucky week. We will. See you soon.